How's it going, Rogues Gallery? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today is, well, it's going to be a little bit different than our usual fare. We're not going to have any special effects. We're not going to have crescendoing music. Today, I just want to share with you folks who, mean a lot to me, people who have made a large impact on me and Red Zone Rogue, and hopefully folks that maybe if you don't know who they are, don't already follow them, can go follow them and have someone cool or interesting or very talented to add to your regular viewing or content consumption. It's not all content creators. There's some artists here. There's some folks in the card gaming industry, but they're all people that I want to give a shout out to and to give credit for, and just to give thanks, personal thanks from me to these incredible people. So that's the video today. It's going to be fairly wholesome. There is going to be a full list in the description down below to all of the things where you can find all of these people. And I hope you join me for this. It's probably not going to be very long, but it's just something that I really wanted to do. And at the end, we're going to have a section where I shout out some very small flesh and blood content creators who I think are deserving and who are just very nice, and I've had a great interaction with them. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. It's kind of a weird video because I don't normally do stuff like this where we just kind of just chat, but that's kind of the idea here. And I do have my phone just in case I forget. There's a decent list of people, and I do want to give a caveat right now that if you're watching this and you're not on the list or think you should be on the list, I couldn't fit everyone, and also I wanted to hit some very specific notes here. But there's so many incredible people out there, so many awesome content creators who are deserving of your time and attention, and I just can't get to them all. I just can't get to them all. And, like I said, this is going to be very personal for me. So this is going to be a lot of folks that I've either worked with or who have had very big impacts on me personally this year. And the first one is actually an incredible friend, a very, very talented artist, and someone who has actually been integral to Red Zone Rogue this year because she designed the Red Zone Rogue card back, and I do have a card here. So she designed the Red Zone Rogue card back, and when I approached her about this, she's an anime artist. I was like, hey, could you design a card back? It was kind of randomly because she was working on a art piece for me. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. And I gave her a bunch of references. Basically, the idea for this was I wanted it to emulate really old school, like vintage card backs. And the first draft looked almost like too much like a Flesh and Blood card back. And I was like, no, we need to change it. It still kind of resembles it, but it does so, I think, in a way where it's not too close, but it's like along the similar vibe. I really wanted it to look more kind of like Art Deco, with the gold and the blacks. I considered changing the red RZR to something else to make it different from Flesh and Blood, but a lot of folks, we decided on the red. A lot of folks like the red too. So the person is Hanchu. She's incredible. She does anime art. It's some spicy artwork, right? So if you're not into that kind of stuff, then she has some cute artwork too. And she works now on Grand Archive, which is, I have some of her Grand Archive cards. You know what? We're in the spirit of showing things off here. Here's one of the Grand Archive cards that she has done. This is the dungeon guide that she signed for me. And speaking of which, we do have a really, really awesome signed Hanchu thing that I'll be announcing in a separate video later. But there is one thing I want to show off today, and that is the Red Zone Rogue holiday splash art, playmat, and sleeves done by Hanchu. This has been done for a couple months now, actually, and I wanted to debut it today, which is Thanksgiving here in the United States. Here it is. It features our two first original characters, Katsumi and Vea. Like I said, it's a little spicy. She does a little bit of spicy work. She designed these outfits. I was just like, hey, I want to have just a cute holiday piece that has Katsumi and Vea just kind of like, enjoying a good holiday, day, I guess. Holiday day. It's a little redundant, but this is available right now on redzonerogue.com. There's incredibly limited quantities. I only have about 20 of these things available. They are a little bit more expensive because of that, and I wanted to make them like fairly unique and exclusive. So after these 20 are gone, they're gone. Like, maybe I'll reprint them next year. Maybe we'll change up something about it. Or maybe we'll do like a Flesh and Blood piece next year. But either way, these are incredibly limited. Like I said, I only have like 20 of them. I'm giving some of these playmats to some friends and colleagues as gifts. I'm not telling you who's getting them, but I have some for gifts, and then I have some for anyone out there who would like it, at least the first 20 people. And we also have sleeves too with this art. Sleeves are even more limited. I only have 10. Actually, I posted these on my Discord. The sleeves are already starting to sell. I think I only have 7 left of the sleeves, so that's that. So, moving on, I want to talk about a couple more artists, and then we'll get to some like content creator friends and some other stuff. By the way, like I said, if you love anime art, go follow Han. She's incredible, and she's like, I don't want to sound like braggadocious, but like she's more popular than I am. So like, she's got a quite a large following on Twitter, and very well deserved. And she's one of those people that I can like. She's gonna have like 100,000 followers eventually. She's so talented. So I can't say enough nice things about her. And also, she's just an incredibly awesome person. Like, she's such a great friend. So go follow Han. I don't want to gush too much because I don't want to get emotional. But yes, the second one is another artist. This one is a Flesh and Blood artist. Her name is Silvia Meliani, and if you've been watching this channel this year, you will have seen this piece of artwork quite often. She's actually the artist who did the Katako's library art here, and it feels like I've had this for a long time, but this came out this year. It's been a very eventful year. So this is our like first kind of like official Katako piece of artwork. We did have the one that Bima did for the 10K and 10K subscriber special last year, but we kind of like redesigned her outfit. This is like her new outfit design. She has her dragon familiar that we haven't picked a name for quite yet. If you have a good name for the dragon familiar, this dragon here, if you have a good name for that dragon, comment down below. We have not picked a name yet. I do want to say that this character's name, Katako, so she is, her full name is Katsumi Katako, which is, we call the anime version Katsumi. So here's Katsumi and Vea. And then the Red Zone Rogue Fantasy World version, Katako. And the reason I do that is because I realize Katsumi sounds too close to Katsu from Flesh and Blood, so we'll just call her Katako. The name actually was devised by patrons of mine, and they had a bunch of names. Katsumi is a name that means victorious beauty, and the word Katako sounds like the way you say cards in Japanese, which I think is Kado. So her name kind of is like victorious beauty of the cards or something like that, which is perfect. It's perfect for our first character. So this is Katako. We do have another character coming that it's gonna be similar to her. It might be her sister. I don't know. I haven't worked out the lore yet, but we have another character coming that's gonna be an assassin, and I'm so stoked for it. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so cool. I'll share more details later, but that artist is not going to be Sylvia. It's actually going to be the next artist, which is another Flesh and Blood artist, and this is Crovius. So Crovius helped design Vea here, and so our second official character, we have Vea. Also, the name was chosen by my patrons, so I love how we have like this community involvement with all of these characters and everything like this. So yeah, this is Vea, designed by Crovius, and she will also be helping me make our new character, which I haven't chosen the name yet, but I do know what she's going to look like, and she's going to look so sweet. Oh, I'm so stoked for it. I will give you a couple little hints here. It's going to be an assassin, going to be a female assassin, and they're going to be either in the pits or possibly Mysteria. I'm not sure, but the previous two pieces of artwork had more of a warm color palette, and I want this one to have more of a cool color palette, but with some red for reasons. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So please look forward to that. I want to have that piece of artwork done around when we hit 15,000 subscribers, which is really soon. We are so close. I guess that's something that I can mention just right now. At the start of the year, I didn't think we would hit our goal. So I had a goal at the start of the year, right? My goal was I want to hit 15,000 subscribers, right? And it's not something that like, oh, I have to do. It's nice to set goals and then work towards those goals. I have like, higher goals too, but for this year I was like, okay, 15K would be great. That's 50% growth because I started the year at around 10K, right? So 50% growth I figured is really, really good. And over the last month or so, I didn't think we'll get there. We were it was like slowing down. We had a couple like rough months in terms of growth, but the last month has been insane. It is the last 28 days. Red Zone Rogue has been doing the best that it has ever done. We've had almost an additional 1,000 subscribers, over 100,000 new views, over 100,000 views, and it's just absolutely incredible. In no small part to Flesh and Blood becoming a bigger thing, to certain folks' involvement in it. We'll talk about them in a moment here because I want to give them a shout out too. But I do have one more artist that I want to mention. And the artist is another anime artist and another fantastic friend. She's awesome. All 4 of the artists that I've worked with are absolutely lovely ladies. But this one is Lucky Yuki, and she did this one. This is the Halloween piece with Katsumi and Vea, kind of in her like WeCross style. So she's an artist that actually does a lot of like community stuff and art for like WeCross, like fan art for WeCross. Fan art that's like as good or better than the actual art, which is saying a lot because if you like anime, WeCross has really good art. But I do want to give a big shout out to Lucky Yuki. If you like that kind of stuff, if you like WeCross, please go follow her. She has an awesome Patreon where she gives out custom token cards that you can actually use in the game and play mats and all that kind of stuff. I have some of it here, but she's incredible. All 4 of those artists are fantastic people. I will be working with them in the future to some degree, right? Like I like to think of Han as like the unofficial anime artist for Red Zone Rogue, and Crovius and Sylvia are just super talented artists that I think are very underrated, and I'm happy to support them and really hope they get more cards in Flesh and Blood. So those are the artists I want to talk about. Possibly we'll be working with more artists next year. I have some ideas already. We have the Assassin piece that we're doing with Crovius. I want to do another one with Sylvia next year, and then maybe a little bit more. I have a feeling next year we'll be doing more Flesh and Blood style pieces and less like anime style pieces, but we might have an anime piece here and there depending on things because of Grand Archive. And so Grand Archive is another thing that I want to talk about, and that is my partnership and collaboration with Grand Archive, because we will have next year our very first card of one of our original characters is going to be Katsumi in Grand Archive, and not as a promo. It's going to be in booster packs, which is so exciting. One of my original characters is going to be in booster packs, and not just in any game, but Grand Archive, a game that I genuinely like, that I think is a fantastic game with awesome art. And I do have a test print card of it. This is Korhazi Courier. It is an uncommon that will be in the Dawn of Ashes booster set, and you can open it up in booster packs in both the Kickstarter version and the like unlimited Ultra Edition version. You can open this card up, and it's an uncommon, so you'll probably open up a couple of them. It's going to be awesome. It's a good card. She's an assassin because, of course, she's an assassin. And I'm really excited for this. So I do want to give a shout out to Grand Archive, specifically Aldius and Silidar, who worked there. They're some of the devs and owners and creators of the game. They're really, really awesome dudes. And yeah, I'm just honored to be a part of this in a small degree. And so I'll be doing some more Grand Archive content in the future. It's still going to be like 90% Flesh and Blood, but I do like Grand Archive, and it might just end up being my second card game after Flesh and Blood. It might be my anime card game of choice. Speaking of card games, I do also want to give a huge shout out to both James White, Robbie Wen. I said both, but we'll add in Alan Hale as well, and any of the other folks at LSS that I've talked to this year that I've had great interactions with. LSS is Legend Story Studios. They're the company that made Flesh and Blood. James White and Robbie Wen are the co-founders of the company. James just has this amazing spirit for like the card gaming industry, and it's one that I can relate to a lot. It's an industry that I love. It's been a lifelong dream of mine to work in the industry, to make it in the card game industry. And I mean, that's one of the biggest things I could say is like, I'm so honored that I've been able to be full-time content creation talking about card games this entire year, and it's still going strong. Like I said, it's better than ever. And so James is someone who wants to, and he's working really hard to legitimize the card gaming industry as like something that is not just kind of like a children's hobby. It's something for adults, it's for you and me. And it resonates with me in ways that it's hard to say, to be honest. So it's hard for me. It's hard for me to put into words, but like I said, it's a lifelong dream of mine, and I do want to give James White a huge shout out. I also want to give Robbie Wen a huge shout out too. A lot of folks don't know who Robbie is. Robbie is the creative director for Flesh and Blood. He's the reason the game looks the way it does, right? And I honestly think he's the unsung hero of Flesh and Blood. And you know, I know he doesn't like being in the limelight. I've asked him if he would like to be on the channel at some point, but I do want to give a shout out to him. I don't think enough folks know who he is or what he does for the game, and I think it's important. And he's also been like an incredible supporter of me and Red Zone Rogue. And so, yeah, so huge shout out to Robbie, to James, and everyone else at LSS. Sam Yang, MJ, got to give a big shout out to Alan Hale, who was recently on the Living Legends podcast. You are all awesome, and you all help make this game, Flesh and Blood, that has literally changed my life, and that will likely be a very huge part of my life for a very long time. So I can't give enough thanks to that. That's so important to me. So there's that. Enough with the sappy talk. We're like almost 20 minutes in. Jeez. All right, let's talk about some like content creator friends that I think you should watch, right? So obviously I got to give a huge shout out to Bill from the Spike Feeders Fab and Az from Go Again Gaming, my two co-hosts for the Living Legends podcast. This is another huge thing that we did this year that has been more successful than I thought. I think we are currently one of the most watched Flesh and Blood podcasts. I think we have over 40,000 views on YouTube and over 10,000 views or listens on like podcast services, and we're just growing every day. So yeah, I got to give a huge shout out to those guys, and you know, we show up every single week. I love talking to them about Flesh and Blood. It's one of my favorite parts of every week, just kind of like, you know, doing the Living Legends, talking about Flesh and Blood, and hanging out with my friends. And you know, I hope y'all out there enjoy it as well, because that's kind of the vibe we want there. When I made the podcast, I wanted it to be a podcast where anyone who likes Flesh and Blood could listen to it and then get some sort of entertainment or value out of it. It's a podcast where we talk about all aspects of the Flesh and Blood trading card game. We talk about the lore. We talk about new cards, rules, mechanics, arts, just all aspects. We talk about tournaments, and sometimes we talk about meta decks and stuff. But we don't go super deep into that kind of stuff, because we want it to be for everyone, right? So no matter who you are, new, pro, if you're into Flesh and Blood, we want the Living Legends podcast to be for you. And we want our guests that we invite on the podcast to bring value to that. So we've actually been inviting a lot of folks from LSS onto the podcast to give their perspectives, to answer community questions. Like I said, we had Alan Hale on, who is the Flesh and Blood, he's one of the organized play managers. We had Chris Bewley, who was the content liaison, or however you want to say that. We're going to have Brian Gottlieb on, who helped design the Assassin class and is now a designer and developer. I think we'll have James White on at some point. Sam Yang is going to be on to talk about art. So Living Legends is kind of like one of the things that I'm most proud of this year, other than like, you know, having my first couple characters for the Red Zone Rogue Fantasy World come out, Katako and Vea. There's that, because that, you know, resonates with me personally on a very creative level, but also the Living Legends podcast is really huge. So go check out both of their individual channels, the Spike Feeders Fab and Az from Go Again Gaming. So Bill from Spike Feeders Fab, Az from Go Again Gaming. They're awesome, and I can't say enough nice things about them. I mean, I asked them to be on this podcast with me because I like them that much. I want to, you know, hang out with them, talk with them every single week. So if you don't already follow them, you should go do so, because they do great stuff and they're just excellent folks. I also want to give a shout out to Tulare Community College, Brian the professor. He has been a friend for a little while now, well over a year, and he's just an incredibly nice person. I truly value the time that we have together, like going and, you know, playing games at his game night, and, you know, his passion for gaming and community is infectious. And, you know, I like to think that I learn a lot from him, from, you know, a content creation side of things, from like a business side of things, just like a lot of the experiences that he's gone through, and respect him a hell of a lot. So I just want to give a shout out to him. I've learned a lot from him. You know, me helping spoil Nitromechanoid, his preview card for Dynasty, being in that video was awesome. Probably not the last time you'll see me on Tolarian Community College, and definitely not the last time you'll see him on Red Zone Rogue here. Speaking of living legends, I think Brian, the professor, is a you know, up there candidate to get on the Living Legends podcast. So that'll happen. That'll happen at some point. Yeah, I just gotta give him a shout out. If you're not already following Tolarian Community College for some reason, you should go do so. You probably are, though. The dude's like approaching 1 million subscribers. But if you're not, go subscribe to him to help him get to 1 million subscribers, because he deserves it. He's one of the hardest working people I know. And that's another thing too. His work ethic is like insane. The dude works so much and he works so hard. He deserves it. So I'm gonna get emotional, man. He deserves it. So go subscribe to him. Let's see, who else? DMArmada is a great friend, one of my very first friends in Flesh and Blood. Once again, if you're not already subscribed to him, you should go do so. I imagine if you're watching this channel and you're a fan of Flesh and Blood, you're already subscribed to DMArmada. He is one of the, you know, premier channels. I don't want to sound arrogant, but, you know, I know the numbers and I know how things are, and I know Red Zone Rogue is up there. And you know what? DMArmada is right next to me. So if you're not subscribed to him, go do it. And also, he's just an incredible person. Like I said, one of my first friends in this community, and someone that, you know, I would like to do a lot more content with, where we're talking about some stuff. So he's really busy. Like, he literally has like multiple children, and he also is a teacher. And so a lot of his time is just like not there. But I would love to do some more collaborations with him and some more content, and just to hang out and play card games. Similar is true for Jim from FAB TCG Cards. We do have, as a part of a little Patreon deal kind of thing, where if you're a patron of mine, you get 10% off his website, because he's cool, and it's just a great way to, you know, give my patrons some value, and you know, drive folks to his site, because he's awesome. And, you know, one of the pillars of Flesh and Blood, he, you know, was one of the original stores that started carrying Flesh and Blood when it first came out. He's a online singles store, but excellent dude. And he is like someone who I've literally never gone to a big event without him there. He's the guy who basically like books our rooms, like me, DMArmada, and then some other folks occasionally, but it's usually me, DMArmada, and Jim are like travel buddies, right? For these big Flesh and Blood events, the Calling, Nationals, even Worlds. Worlds, Iain Kenderdine joined us. I'll talk about Iain in just a second. But I gotta give a huge shout out to Jim, because it's so much less stressful for me, because I know Jim has got the rooms booked. I still, obviously, we pay him for the rooms, but he books it all, gets it all squared away, and we're just like, okay, Jim, where do we go? And he's like, this is the address, ask him for the key. Like, awesome. So Jim's an awesome guy. Highly recommend FAB TCG Cards. Also, he's like got a great vibe too, so definitely check Jim out. And then we also have Iain Kenderdine from Right Time Gaming, a frequent guest here on Red Zone Rogue, especially for our live streams, which is something that I'm going to be doing more going forward. We've only had a few live streams, but every Saturday, 4 p.m. PST, we're going to do Flesh and Blood live, and occasionally we'll do some other card games too, mostly Flesh and Blood. And Iain is a frequent guest, just an incredibly awesome guy from New Zealand. He used to actually work at Legend Story Studios, but he's just a card game fan through and through, loves card games, all card games. Used to run like card stores. He's one of the few people in this world who just loves all the dead card games as much as I do. So he's awesome. He does have a YouTube channel, Right Time Gaming. He's trying to get to 316 subs because wrestling. And he's down in the description too. Go sub to him. He's awesome. He's also got a sweet hat. And then let's see. Let me get my phone out. So those are like the big ones that I wanted to shout out. Some of them you may already be following, like DMArmada. Some of them you may not, but they're all like excellent people. And you know, how do I put this? They've all contributed to Red Zone Rogue and to make it what it is today. Let me put it that way. Let's see. We also have, I do want to give a shout out to, this is like just a company, but Dragon Shield. Dragon Shield has been a sponsor for over a year now, and they're awesome. They'll send me new sleeves. They will, we have the kind of a deal to make our own custom sleeves through their sleeve crafter, which is why I'm able to sell them at a good price for you folks. And they're just incredibly supportive. They love Flesh and Blood, and I can't say, and I mean, they're also like the best sleeves on the market, and that's one of the reasons why I partnered with them. When they reached out to me, I was like, holy shit, dude, Dragon Shield wants to partner with me, and I was like, yes. So I do have an affiliate link with Dragon Shield in the description down below. If you want to buy anything from Dragon Shield, use that link, and it goes and supports me. Like I said, Dragon Shield they're a company that I bought from. They were the company that I bought from before, and I was just like, yeah, I'm already buying your stuff. Like, it was a pretty easy sell. I also want to mention now Mark from Forge and Fire Gaming, another incredibly awesome Flesh and Blood store, like a pillar of the community. And when they reached out to partner with me, once again, I was like, I already buy from you. Yes. Like, yes. So they're an LGS, right? And they sell Flesh and Blood, and they sell it at excellent prices. They almost always sell it at minimum advertised pricing at MAP, so they have excellent deals. They collaborate with Flesh and Blood artists just the same way I do to make awesome playmats. They don't have like original characters, but they do Flesh and Blood characters, right? So like last year they had an awesome holiday mat. This year they're gonna have an awesome holiday mat. So I highly recommend them. I do have an affiliate link with them as well. It's one of those things, once again, where they're like, hey, you know, we would like to support you. Would you like to have an affiliate with us? Yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, of course, I already buy from you. They're the store that I bought from for like, over a year, right? Before we partnered, I bought from them and I still buy from them. So highly recommend Forge and Fire. They're awesome. And the owner's just once again, awesome dude, very, very supportive of the tabletop gaming industry. Yeah, I'm proud to be an affiliate with them. Okay, so now the video is almost over, but I want to give a shout out to a couple, threes in particular, smaller Flesh and Blood channels that you probably never heard of before. Maybe you have, but they don't have a ton of subs, and they all have less than 1,000 subs. And I think they're awesome, and I think they deserve more attention. And I've had good experiences with all of them. So the first one is Hank and Amy from Goblin Reserve. Hank is an incredibly passionate dude, and once again, he just loves cards. He loves goblins, right? And him and his wife Amy just have an awesome, very wholesome channel where they open up cards, right? They're gonna do some gameplay stuff. Me and Iain, who I mentioned earlier, might be doing a little thing with them. So if you want just like a really chill, super family-friendly channel where there's like dad jokes and that kind of stuff, if you just want something like that, I highly recommend them. They're not gonna see like, crazy high production values because, they have children, they have jobs. But it's very wholesome and they're very nice people. And they're fun, so I recommend Goblin Reserve. And they also, previewed a Flesh and Blood card this year. They previewed the Reincarnate of that Brute card, and the video was really sweet, dude. The second one is Baublehead. So Baublehead previously had a different channel name, but current channel name is Baublehead. He's actually local here to the Portland, Oregon area. And once again, he's just a person who I believe has a really good mindset about content creation. He wants to make fun gameplay videos, and I'm pretty sure they've gotten Flesh and Blood cards or preview cards from LSS before. So like both of these channels, like what you gain out of them, you gain some awesome people to watch, but also they will preview Flesh and Blood cards. So if you just like really care about the cards and seeing what the new cards are, these are more people to follow. So then you can see the new cards when the new sets come out. But yeah, local, and like I said, he's got a great mindset about things. He's someone who understands that the social audience is very, very important, right? So it's a channel for everyone, right? Not just for pro players, not someone who's going to belittle you if you don't understand the rules. And I really appreciate that. And it's, you know, some of my own core philosophies are there too, right? Just want to make content that's digestible for everyone. That's good for everyone. And the last one I want to talk about is the Table Pit. Now, the Table Pit was recently featured on the official Flesh and Blood website with the Yoji hero profile with a Yoji Ultimate Pit Fight deck. And what I love about this channel is that they focus on Ultimate Pit Fight, which is awesome. It's my favorite format in Flesh and Blood. It's the most underrated format, the most fun I've had playing Flesh and Blood, and I have fun playing all Flesh and Blood formats, but what makes Ultimate Pit Fight so much fun is that you just get to enjoy it with friends, multiple friends, right? And that's kind of like the essence of Flesh and Blood, coming together in the Flesh and Blood under the common language of playing great games with more friends. So the Table Pit, I highly recommend them for Ultimate Pit Fight content. I want to do more Ultimate Pit Fight content, but man, it's tough. It's tough to edit, and also like not a lot of people play it yet, so the videos don't generally do that well. So like it's a lot of effort for not a lot of views. And when it's my full-time job, those are the things that I have to think about, right? How good is the video going to do? Like, is it going to help grow the channel or be entertaining for folks? Because I want people to actually like watch the videos and enjoy them. That's kind of the goal here. So I do want to do more UPF stuff, but if you're hungry for UPF stuff, Table Pit, go subscribe to them. They're awesome, and I've had really good positive interactions with them too, and that's true for all of these folks. I've had a really good positive interactions, and that's kind of like the core of it. I just wanted to shout out these people who are awesome, and they have, you know, everyone from like Az and Bill to the Professor to DMArmada to the artists like Han and Crovius. They've all had a huge impact on me this year, for, you know, in the most positive way possible. And I just want to shout them out so that you know about them, and then maybe you can go follow them and have these awesome interactions as well. So like I said, all their stuff's going to be down below. Can't recommend the artists enough too. If you just want to have some, you know, see some awesome artwork, go follow them. Fingers crossed for Crovius and Sylvia to be in more Flesh and Blood art next year. Either way, I'm going to be working with them to do some cool splash art. And then there's a couple other Flesh and Blood artists that I haven't reached out to yet that I really want to work with. So Hoang Lap, or Hoang Lap, I don't know how to pronounce their name, but I would love their art. And so they are kind of on the top of my list for new artists to check out next year. In case you were curious, the next character is going to be an assassin character. It's going to be awesome. She's going to be badass. And then the character after that's going to be a male character. So we had 3 female characters, and then we're going to have a male character just to kind of diversify it a bit. And I have an idea, and my idea is I really like Devil May Cry. Let me just say this. I really like Devil May Cry. And I like a show called, an anime and manga called Bastard, which is this dude with like this long white hair. Sometimes it's a little rough, but it's still a fun, absurd show. And he's just like this powerful wizard dude, but he's just ripped. I don't know, he's ridiculous. And Devil May Cry is ridiculous. So I want to make like this over-the-top, ridiculous character with like long white hair. Maybe shorter white hair, maybe closer to Dante, but maybe an assassin, maybe like a fighter wizard kind of thing. I don't know. I have an idea. It's kind of coalescing, but I think it could be cool. Let me know if you have any ideas down below as well. And also ideas for names. Name the dragon. That dragon that I said earlier. And then I also need names for this new character too. I like Cyrus. Like not Osiris, just Cyrus. It's the name of a D&D character that I've been thinking about as well. But this character, the D&D character, looks more like the dude from The Mummy. Like the Magi guy from The Mummy. You know what I'm talking about, right? But this one will have like white hair. but Cyrus is a cool name. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I can't recommend enough checking all those people out. I just wanted to make a very, I don't know, like wholesome video for everyone out there for this time of year. It's a time of giving thanks to folks, and I have a lot to be thankful for. And you know, I'm the kind of person who I want to celebrate my friends' triumphs, and I want to lift them up. So if I'm succeeding, I want to lift them up with me, right? And if I'm not succeeding, you know, I'm going to push them even higher. So that's who I am, and that's the kind of vibe that I want to put out there. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. We still, by the way, this is the content creator in me being like, oh, you always gotta do the shilling. We do have the holiday mat once again, limited quantities. I only have like 20 of these. They are $40. They do come with an art card of this art, and we have sleeves as well for $25. If you buy playmat with the sleeves, you get $5 off. So sleeves are $20 if you buy a mat as well. So thank you so much for watching. This has been an incredible year. We still have December to go through. Still going to be designing that new assassin character. Oh, I'm so excited for it. I'm going to be doing something special with a new assassin character. Something that I haven't done before for my releases. I've done art cards. Well, instead of the art cards, this is a tidbit for those who have watched this like 35 minutes in. So for the next playmat, I think for every Flesh and Blood playmat after, instead of the art card, I'm going to do a hero token. So it's going to be the art, right? But on a hero card with a custom mechanic and you know, and a class and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a hero that you can play in Flesh and Blood. Obviously unofficial, obviously just like a little fun jokey thing, but who knows? If there's PvE next year, you can play a Katako in PvE. You can play Vea in PvE. You can play Cyrus in the PvE. I guess I'm now going with Cyrus. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. Instead of art cards, they're going to be Flesh and Blood tokens. So yeah, the hero tokens, right? Probably young heroes. Maybe I'll make 2 versions. That's getting a little in the weeds. Probably young though, because Blitz is my favorite format, and then Ultimate Pit Fight, and then PvE probably also going to be young. So yeah, look forward to that. I know I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to designing them. I'm going to try to make like designs for them. So like for the assassin character, I want to make it so it'll work if you play assassin. So I'll probably not be copying other heroes. I could just copy Arachne's ability, but I kind of want to make it unique. I don't know. Anyway, enough of that. Thanks so much for watching. Definitely check out all those amazing people down below. And thank you. Thank you for being here. I guess the last thing I want to say if you're watching this far is thank you. Thank you. And all of my supporters and patrons and channel members. Like, there's not very many of them, but you're awesome, the channel members. I might add a $1 tier for there. It might be better for folks. I have a $3 tier. Or is it $5? I'm going to add a cheaper tier down there. But you are all what make everything possible. You're the best. The Rogues Gallery community is so awesome. I feel bad leaving this at the end, but I guess this is another little bonus for those who are watching this far. If you're watching this far, ooh, I like doing this. I want to give you a code word to say. Say Raven. Say Raven at the end. The reason I say that is because I have oh, you can't see her. I have an anime figure here from Punishing Gray Raven, and that's why. Look how cool she is. Look how cool she is. Say Raven. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.